Hi guys, how are you all doing? All right, so let's play a quick game. All right, please put 5 fingers up. So let's play. Put a finger down. Do we all know the game? So put a finger down if you've changed jobs or career at least twice ever before. Fantastic. Put a finger down if you currently have two things that you love, but they are not related at all. Okay. Put a finger down if you've ever been told that you are doing too much. Put a finger down if you've ever thought to yourself that you are doing too much. Put a finger down if every single year you fall in love with something new. If your hands, look, wow, this is amazing. I came for all of you. You know, all my life, I've always thought to myself, you're crazy. You are doing so much. You're doing so many things that do not even relate. And you know, I used to think there was something wrong with me. You know, I could remember when I was still on campus, we had company law exam. And there I was in our upper reading room. I was designing a brand logo for a fintech in Lagos that I wanted to launch that week. And I had exam. And you know, I began to reflect on my journey across the years. I've been a writer. I've been an SEO specialist. I've been a web developer. I've been a designer, brand strategist, all while studying to be a lawyer. And when you think about it, you are like, where do these all come together? And you see, my talk essentially carries that notion that it all comes together. Personally, one thing I have realized over the course of my journey is that many of these seemingly unfamiliar things that I have picked up during the course of my journey all contributed to one similar path, and I call it purposeful generalism. We're all trained to think in boxes. I mean, we have all heard this: go to school, come out, get a job, climb the career ladder, right? And it's good advice. Trust me, it is good advice. But if you're someone whose mind works in a very curious way, and you are someone whose mind is constantly evolving, that kind of advice can quick become a cage. Because you see, the way the world works right now, the world necessarily doesn't just need specialists. And don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking against sitting on one thing and staying true to one thing. No. What I'm talking about is against narrowness. That narrow-mindedness of not being able to have multiple divergent perspectives that you can use to bring things together and offer value. So let me tell you something. I was having a call with one of my clients at Octo Design, my business development agency, and he wanted to build a crypto app. So he was talking about it, and we were supposed to do the branding and the product development. And so I began to ask him, so what's your railing and what's the regulatory licensing for all of these things? And then I began to ask him some very, very technical questions. And this man stopped. Are you a designer? I say, I don't know. Yes. He said, so how do you know these kind of things? I said, because the kind of value I bring is not the value that each specialized entity would bring. Is the value of someone whose mind has been trained across various sects to see a neurodivergent and to see a unique insight that most people wouldn't have. The idea of being a purposeful generalist is not being unnecessarily busy. It's finding that unique perspective that is at the center of intersections of various things. Now, we all know the Mona Lisa. It's literally one of the most iconic paintings that has ever existed. It was painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1503 and 1506. Till today, knockoffs of the Mona Lisa are still being sold for millions of dollars. Now, you probably think, oh, the guy who painted something this impactful and iconic must be a very great painter, right? But when you begin to read the biography of Leonardo da Vinci, you'll be shocked to find out that this guy had similarly tremendous impact in geology, military, science, modern invention, biology, and so on and so forth. You know, funny thing, I was reading through his biography, and
I realized that this guy performed anatomical surgery on people. Quick question. Will you allow a renowned painter slice your stomach? I believe you probably won't. But you see, one thing that Da Vinci did was he was able to bring all of those seemingly disconnected perspectives that he had and brought it together to become someone whose impact will echo across generations. And I could go on and on and on down to people like Benjamin Franklin. I mean, people who are properly scientists and political scientists in that range would know about Benjamin Franklin as one of the fundamentalists in American history who shaped their constitution. But what most people don't know is that Benjamin Franklin is also one of the inventors of the bifocal lenses, one of the proponents and the inventors of lead lamp as you have it. And so you see that the world has taught many young people to think in boxes. You can only do this. You can only do that. The road to success is when you follow this path. But I've come to realize that there are multifaceted ways that you can come into relevance by exposing yourself to influence experience over time. And so, if you're probably asking, Temidayo, so how do I gather myself together? I feel chaotic right now. All my friends are probably settled in one particular niche. And here I am. Last week I was doing UI UX. This week I'm learning hairdresser. How do I go about it? So I want to present the 3 C's, all right? Are you ready? I call it collect, connect, and contribute. So, first thing is collect. Build across curiosity. So for me, it was more of going down the rabbit hole of curiosity. So I started out as a writer, freelance writing. Here, Upwork and all of these things. And then I started to realize that many of the people I was writing for needed for what I was writing to rank on Google search engine. And so I started learning SEO, how to optimize it. And then I realized that for you to rank on SEO, you needed to host that thing on a website. So I started learning web design and web development. And so I realized that one of the greatest things about websites is people being able to use it in a very easy to read way. So I started learning UI UX. And then I realized that, okay, it's not just about the brand. It's not just about the website. It's also about the brand. So I started learning branding. And I went on and on and on and on. Now, don't get me wrong. At every step of the way, I felt like I was just chasing a rabbit hole. And you're probably here, maybe you're one of those persons who are stuck in that journey. And you're feeling like, I feel so disconnected. You see, the idea is to follow that curiosity in what I call value stacking. Stacking up so much value that, like Thanos, you become inevitable. Do you get it? All right. And then when you have that stacked up value, you begin to connect them together. What I did was to find that balance for myself where every single value and every single intel that I have ever had were brought together in a business consultancy model and began to service fintechs and service persons who are building great things across the world. And so you see, one of the things that I have learned over time is that having this multiple experience gives you a kind of perception that most people don't have. And you can see patterns that others do not even realize that exist. I mean, Steve Jobs said, creativity is simply just connecting things. And so the idea with generalism is not just about, going helter-skelter. No. It's about being able to be so exposed that your mind is so wide that you can provide unique insights into complex problems. And that's actually why some of the world's greatest problem solvers are what you call generalists. I mean, very easy example is Elon Musk. That guy is a software guy, is a rocket guy. He's probably one of the biggest influencers on earth right now. He has a political career. He's a meme lord. He's in crypto. And he's literally having so much influence in all of these things. Even Steve Jobs that I had cited. Do you know Steve Jobs was once a Shaolin monk? He actually left Apple and went to China to become a monk. All of these things all come together in playing in how much they are able to bring into what they're doing. And the next one is contribute. So it's not enough that you know so many things and do so many things if you're unable to bring everything together and consolidate them to contributing into real-time solutions that would impact society. So you turn that uniqueness that you have into a blend of impact, all right? Because the idea is not for you to just have multi-talented on your bio. The idea is for you to bring that multiple angles that you have into solving real-time problems, into creating real-time businesses that are going to have real impact. And so maybe you're probably here sitting and you're like, Temidayo, you don't get me. I'm in such a confused state. I'm in such a state where I feel so scattered. My friends have probably already figured a lot of things out. But here I am, still chasing, still having so many unfinished courses. I'm coming for you guys. All right? You see, if you've ever seen a painter painting, the more he's taking each stroke, it starts out as rubbish, right? And then he's putting green on blue and pink, and you're like, where exactly is this going? And you see, that's exactly how every single experience you are having is. Each experience is a new stroke of the brush. Each experience is an additional stroke of the brush. Because at some point, it would all come together in such a beautiful blend that you would have painted with your life something so interesting and so unique that your value will not just be in what you do, but in how you think. And why does this talk matter? I mean, we are in the AI age. The WEF released the statistics that says that by the end of the year, over 85 million jobs would have been displaced. And definitely that also creates more jobs and creates new kind of activities and new kind of industries. But you see, what this is going to do is that it's going to re-engineer and reshape what it means to be truly intelligent. And you see, with the way the world is going, true value will no longer exist in silos of, oh, this is just what I am, or this is just what I do. Because what if someone comes up with a very bright idea with a model that can do exactly that thing you are learning? And at that point in time, what is going to save you is not just going to be what you do, it's going to be how you think. Because what helps you to be invaluable is your mind, is the fruit of your mind, is what you are able to bring together. And so you see, the true thing is that the future really doesn't belong to those who just sticks to one part. And don't get me wrong, this is not an advocacy against focus. This is an advocacy against narrow-mindedness. Because you see, the human potentials is limitless. The human potential is endless. You don't know how much your mind can produce if you don't push your mind to grasping so many things. And we exist in one of the most knowledge-filled generation, but oxymoronically also the most distracted generation. And as such, so much to learn, very little people who are giving their minds to it. And I see the next 5 to 10 years being a generation of leaders whose minds cut across everything. Because now with agentic tools and all of these things, answers will no longer be the problem. If I ask you a question now, you really don't need to be smart in biology to give me the answer. What you just do, you pick up your phone and you just do, you know what you are going to check. Right? And then you ask it and it gives you the answer. So ask yourself this. In a world where everybody knows the answer, what will make you unique? Insights, unique perception, unique perspective to problem solving. And so you see, looking back on my journey, I really don't regret, because in those days where I thought my life was so disjointed, I realized that it actually all came together. And today, I'm able to provide unique insights, breaking down complex legal stuff, bringing it into business development, bringing it into brand building, bringing it into global business expansion. And at every single juncture, I just sigh and thank God that I did not quit those days when I was learning that course and reading overnight. And so you see, maybe the question we should be asking young folks now is not, what do you want to do when you grow up? It's really, how do you want to shape your mind to become a unique potential and to become someone whose insights will be truly, truly valuable. Because if you've ever been in that place where you are probably sitting at an interview and someone asks you a question and you just remember one thing you did and it just springs up and you just say it, you will then realize that true value indeed is not just in the words, but is in the mind. And so my final words to every single person who had no hands down at the beginning is it all comes together. Don't beat yourself up thinking, I've picked up something new again. Embrace it. Embrace it. Take it further. Increase it. Do value stacking. And one day, the true fruit of your journey will not just be in the answers you provide, but will be in the uniqueness of your mind. Thank you so much.